1 Timothy chapter 3, if you've got a Bible and you can read it. Maybe you got that iPhone app that'll allow you to do that, the flashlight. Good to be with you all. This is my last sermon in South Africa. It has been 2 weeks away from my family, 25 sermons, 3 cities. And I hear that you guys are the best crowd. So it's nice to save the best for last. And I'll just start by saying and this is not just a sermon in a series for the guys. A lot of ladies will ask the question, hey, it's a series for guys. What about us? We're going to beat the guys. That's love to you. These guys are ruining your life, so we're going to fix them to make you happy. So just because we beat the guys doesn't mean we're on your side. We're going to beat the guys to God's glory and your joy. So that's how it's going to go. And let me tell you, you guys have been lied to. When it comes to what it means to be a man, you have 2 options. You go to culture, you go to church. And if you go to culture, you're going to be lied to. And it is nothing more than a bunch of marketers and advertisers trying to pickpocket you, take your money, take your resources. It used to be that you'd go from boy to man. And we've invented something called adolescence. Adolescence is, at least as I understand it in your great nation, at 18 you get a driver's license and the right to drink alcohol. It is weird that they give you both of those opportunities at the same time. It seems like they would stagger that. Maybe do like we do, teach you how to drive for 5 years, then let you drink. And nonetheless, the way I think it works here is at about 18, you get a license, you get the ability to drink legally, and then you don't have to grow up for a really long time. You don't go from boy to man, you go from boy to extended adolescence to man. And the adolescence period in the middle means, in your teens, 20s, 30s, you get to act like a boy. You get to act like a boy. You're a boy who could shave. Some of you guys should be, literally, you should be in a stroller, getting pushed around the mall by a girlfriend, drinking beer out of a sippy cup with a lid on it, right? Because all you are is just big babies with beards. That's it. And the way it works in this adolescent phase is the culture will come to you and say, don't get married, don't make babies, don't take responsibility, don't buy a house, don't get a job, don't finish a degree, don't love one woman. And they'll give you lots of ideas, not Bible ideas, but cultural ideas. So you buy magazines like this, or you go into stores, or you walk out in the casino and you see ads, and here's what they tell you. Real men drink this beer. Real men wear these jeans. Real men drive this truck. Real men smoke this weed. Real men root for this rugby team. Real men gamble. Real men fight. Real men nap. Real men find porn. Real men masturbate. You know what? Ridiculous. It's all a lie. Because being a man is not about what you consume. How much food and drink and women and money and entertainment and porn you can consume. Like you're a god and it all exists to glorify you. Being a man is not about what you consume. It's about what you produce. It's not about what you take. It's about what you give. And some of you guys have been lied to. Adolescence is not a life stage. It's a sin to be repented of. And so you can either go to the culture and have adolescence extended, and it exists globally. It exists in the U.S., we call it guyland, the sociologists do. In Europe, they call it laddism. In French, they call them the tan guys, because all they do is lay out to the beach, getting ready for hell. That's all they do. And I don't want you guys to be boys in men's bodies. I want you to grow up. A bunch of you didn't have fathers, or your fathers were alcoholics, or wife beaters, or idiots, or overachievers, or continual workers, or traded in your 50-year-old mom for 2 25-year-old twins. You come from some of those families, and it's all garbage, it's all nonsense, it's all ridiculous, and that's not how God made men to be. So we're not going to go to culture, we're going to go to Scripture. We're going to be the church, not the world, and we're going to look at 1 Timothy 3. Here's why. Because this is the description of elders, overseers, pastors. The words are used synonymously in the Bible in places like 1 Peter 5 and Acts chapter 20. And here it sets your job description, men. You know what they didn't give you in school? A job description. You know what your city doesn't have? A job description for men. The Bible has a job description for men. 1 Timothy 3 says, these are the best men, the leaders, the pastors, the elders. All men should aspire to be elder quality, and some men will actually be elder qualified, paid or unpaid pastors. So we'll kick it off. Here we go. The saying is trustworthy. If anyone aspires to the office of overseer, he desires a noble task. First thing he says is, guys, if you want to be passionate about something, you want to be excited about something, you want to be motivated for something, you want to pursue something, make it ministry. You want to join a team, join God's team. You want to be on a mission, get on God's mission. Don't get together with a bunch of other guys drinking Red Bull, logging onto the internet, trying all to be guild leaders on World of Warcraft. There's another option, there's another team, there's another mission than that. Get together with God's men, start to have a plan for your city, plan for your life, plan for your future, plan for your family. And if you desire to lead, it's a good thing. You guys should desire to lead. You should desire to make a difference. And what he says is, if you have that desire, there's a punch list of 17 things you've got to give yourself to. One category is loving God. The other is loving your family. The third is managing your life. And the fourth is serving your city. And I want you guys all to read this section, memorize this section, study this section, write it down, put it on your mirror, put it in your car, put it in your truck, revisit it all the time. This is your punch list. This is your job description. He goes on to say, therefore an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not a drunkard, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. A lot of nots, because there's a lot of things that dudes do that they're not supposed to do. He must manage his own household well with all dignity, keeping his children submissive, for if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how will he care for God's church? He must not be a recent convert, or he'll become puffed up and conceited and fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must be well thought of by outsiders, so that he may not fall into disgrace, into a snare of the devil. 17 things. He lists them all. First category, relationship to God, love for God. Number one, he says, be a man. This is a guy, a dude's dude. Not just the fact that you can write your name in the snow, but a man, a real guy. You know what I'm talking about? How many of you ladies, you meet a guy, he's really nice, really sweet, cries when he sings songs to Jesus, you think, he'd be a really good friend. That's not the kind of guy I'm talking about. I'm talking about a guy that you'd want to trust, give your life to, man's man, guy's guy, dude's dude, foot forward, respectable, responsible. Not like the guys at Cape Town. What is going on in Cape Town? I had a great time in Durban. We get on the plane to Cape Town. There's a whole bunch of dudes with purses. Drinking spritzers. I mean, it was unbelievable. I just got out my hand sanitizer. I'm like, this whole plane feels nasty. It wasn't a bunch of guys. So first thing, dude, guy, man. Number two, above reproach. This is without character defect. You look at a guy's whole life, and it's all in order. It's not like, oh, man, he's really good at work, but then he's got this secret life, or, he does well at church, but when nobody's looking, he's got a whole thing on the side. Above reproach, whole life, in order, all of life to the glory of God and the good of others. Number three, able to teach. You guys should all aspire to be Bible teachers. For some of you, this is one-on-one in counseling, small group in a home, class, elder, preacher, campus pastor, church planner, if nothing else, husband and father. Dad is supposed to be a little pastor over his family. Not in a mean-spirited way at all. What it means is your wife, if you guys are single, and just so you know, your odds are good. Look around. This is unbelievable. You single guys, if you can't close a deal in this room, you have no right being in the gene pool. You just have no right. You just should sit in the lounge chair and never jump in. You're just not helpful at all. There's some amazing gals here. You know what these amazing gals want? They're reading their Bible, they're studying, they're praying. They want a husband that when they're reading and studying, they can go to him and say, honey, I'm reading this, I'm studying this in the Bible or this Christian book, and I'd like to talk to you about it, and I'd like to work it through, and I'd like you to help me think it through. Because intimacy is built around the soul. You got to touch a woman's soul before you touch her body. And you do that through teaching and prayer and time together. And so it says in 1 Corinthians 14 that if a woman has a question, she can go ask her husband, which assumes he has an answer. And if he doesn't, it assumes he'll find one. So here it is, guys. Readers are leaders, leaders are readers. Buy books, read books, buy theology books, history books, Bible books. Buy them and read them. Some of you guys should just get crazy and buy a book with no pictures. They do make them. You should try one. You should get insane. Find one with footnotes. And read the footnotes. And learn something and study. Because you know what? Every woman wants a man who knows the Bible. When you go on date night with your wife, you should be talking about what are you reading, what are you learning. And I'll tell you what, for some of you guys too, if you want to learn, redeem your commute. Podcasts, vodcasts, preachers, Bible teachers, Reformed Theological Seminary, Covenant Seminary, they give their classes away online for free because I've seen the Joburg traffic. It's the worst on earth. We drove through all these intersections where the lights don't work, and a bunch of alcoholics in shiny vests are just sitting there holding on to rakes. I mean, this is the craziest place I've ever seen. It's like, couldn't one of you guys plug that light in? So here, I know you're spending so much time in the car that in the course of a few weeks, you could actually go to seminary, just in your car, by downloading podcasts and sermons. Redeem your commute. Learn, learn, learn. And you know what's cool too? Then when you get to be a daddy, you get to teach your kids. And it's awesome. You get to read the Bible with your kids, pray with your kids. You get to dress them up for Jesus time. Like when my kids are little, it's awesome. We'll read the Bible stories and they'll all get in costume. Right? And they'll get all dressed up and play. Also like, and I've been Goliath. I've been slayed so many times. It's unbelievable. Dad, can I hit you in the head with a rock again? All right. I mean, it is Bible time, you know. It's fun to read the Bible with your kids. It's fun to read the Bible with your wife. It's fun to study together as a family. You know, and if you're a guy who reads, your kids are going to read because they're going to see you have books. And so you should be willing to buy books for yourself, books for your wife, books for your kids, able to teach. And if you do a good job with that at home, guess what? Then you get to teach in the church. You get to open your home and teach a small group, maybe teach a class, maybe become a pastor or a deacon. But it starts with you studying and teaching those that God entrusts to your care. A man above reproach, able to teach. Number 4, not a new convert. Some of you guys are new Christians. And you're all fired up, full tank of gas, no map. You want to do something, but you don't know what you're doing. You guys are really encouraging and really frightening at the same time. Some of you guys are like, I've been a Christian 4 days. When do I get to start a church? It's going to be a while. Right? First, you got to find your pants, a shirt with 2 buttons, get the 2 eyebrows. There's a few things in your life, make it through rehab. You got to knock a few things out. You got to knock a few things out before you lead people. So we don't rush new Christians into ministry because he says they become conceited and proud, fall into the same trap as the devil. Just so you know, pride's a sin, self-esteem is pride, self-esteem is a problem. Our esteem comes from God's grace, not from our works. And new Christians don't know that, and sometimes old Christians don't either. And so it's an issue of only allowing mature people to lead. So be patient, work hard, you'll get there. Second category, loves his family. Says, he must be the husband of one wife. I know we're in Africa. What does one mean? Does it mean 9? No, it means 1. In the Greek, does it mean 1? 1. What does 1 mean? 1! How is that so complicated? Okay, 1 woman. That's all you can handle. You can't even handle that, guys. I'll tell you that right now. 1's more than enough. And I always get young guys tell me, oh, I don't want to marry 1 woman. I like to be with a lot of women. Let me tell you this. You marry 1 woman, she'll change all the time. She's going to be a lot of different women. That's how it works. I love my wife. I've been with her 22 years. High school sweetheart. Met her at 17, married her at 21. A few days ago was the 22nd anniversary of our first date. We got 5 kids, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 awesome, 3 boys, 2 girls. Every other year, someone with my last name shows up. It's fantastic. And you know, what that means is you want to grow old together. Getting married is about growing old together. The most important day is not the wedding day, it's the last day. Finishing well. I always ask God, let me preach Grace's funeral. I want to love her and serve her to the end. I want to finish well. I want to be old and wrinkled together. And I want her to go to Jesus first so I can make sure she's all right. And then I want to preach her funeral and say really nice things. and then I want to kiss our grandbabies and tell them stories about their great-grandma. That's what I want to do. You guys got to have a vision. It's not about a good weekend. It's about a good legacy. It's not about a date. It's a mate. It's not about a moment. It's about a lifetime. And it's fantastic. It gets better every year. I promise you that. One woman, man. This means for you single guys, you don't even start dating a woman till you grow up, get a job, move out of your parents' house, throw away your Star Wars footy jammies. Right? Get it together, man. Otherwise, you're like a dog chasing a car. What are you going to do if you catch it? You have no right chasing a girl. You have no idea what to do with her. So you wait till you're ready to get married, and you don't start pursuing women till you're ready to pursue marriage. And then you pursue how many women at a time? One. One. Just one. You get to know her. If it works out, great. If not, get to know another gal. The Bible says treat all the ladies like sisters. You can be nice to your sister, have coffee with your sister, enjoy your sister. No hanky-panky, no spanky-spanky with your sister. You keep your hands to yourself. It's weird, it's freaky, it's nasty, it's wrong. Not like that guy almost punched in the throat after the previous service came up. He's like, oh, I'm dating 5 or 6 women, and I need you to convince me why it's wrong. How about if I kill you? Take 5 or 6 women at a time, all performing sexual favors. You try them all on for size like used cars. I won't tell you what I called him, but Jesus is okay with it because he agrees with me. That's a bad dude. Some of you gals are here right now. You're like, oh, you mean he shouldn't be seeing other women? No, dump him. Like, we'll give you a minute. If he's dating you and another gal, don't think if 2 women, 4 women are competing for the same man, that man's going to get married and be faithful for a lifetime. When he's dating, he's on his best behavior. How terrifying is that? See, you guys, I just shipwrecked your whole life. But that's okay, because I love you. One woman man. What that means is you pursue a woman, and then you get married, and then you enjoy covenant intimacy and love and sex and all the good stuff. And that means once you're married, you're a one-woman man. Your eyes, your hands, your life, your passion. One woman. That's it. Not looking at porn, flirting. No. You're not looking to get out of the marriage. You're not coveting another man's wife. You're not hoping for a divorce. You want to finish well. You want to live a good life together and leave a legacy for your kids and your grandkids. You don't want to create more broken homes like you came from. You don't want more adultery like you came from. You don't want more dads looking at porn and moms depressed, drinking, going out to the club like some of you dealt with. When you walk outside of the casino, just look at a shipwrecked life. Pulling slots, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, not holding grandbabies. Don't go there. Give yourself an option. One woman man. Love her well. And what this means, gentlemen, your standard of beauty is your wife. When God made Adam and Eve, he didn't come to Adam and say, all right, give me a punch list. Now that you've looked at all the porn, what would your ideal woman look like? He brought Eve. You get one choice, here it is. Her or the aardvark. Yeah, she looks great. She looks great. And so here's what this means, man. You marry a black woman, you're into black. You marry a white woman, you're into white. You marry a tall woman, you're into tall. You marry a short woman, you're into short. When she's 25, you're into her at 25. But when she's 65, you're not into a 25-year-old. You're into 65. That's what you're into. And if she's skinny and has babies and puts on weight, you're into formerly skinny. That's what you're into. That's what you're into. Ladies, I'm on your side. I am on your side. One woman man. Submissive children. This means he's a dad. Being a dad's awesome. It's fantastic. Fantastic. You know how fantastic it is to be a dad? I dreamed about being a dad since I was a little boy. I didn't want to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a dad. It's amazing. My first daughter was born. Daughters are amazing. I thought it'd be incredible. It's way better than I thought. I get hugs and kisses and snuggles and daddy dates and love letters under my pillow. When I come home this week, there'll be a big "We love you, welcome home, Daddy." There'll be a stack of love letters under my pillow. I take my daughters out on daddy dates. I buy them new dresses, go out to their favorite restaurant. We go out to plays, we go out to music. Big deal. I open the door for them, buy them flowers. So that when they get older and some kid shows up in a car and honks the horn, they don't go out because they've been on a date and respected, and they know that guy's an idiot. Right? How many of you ladies would have killed for daddy dates? Would have killed for a daddy who told you you're beautiful, hugged you, snuggled with you, read the Bible to you, prayed with you, honored you. Guys, if you're the porn guy, you're going to be the worst dad in the history of the world. Because here's what's going to happen. If all you're looking at is barely legal porn, and then your daughter hits that age, and her friends hit that age, when she needs you the most, you're going to be the most perverted, corrupted, and distant. Don't be that guy. Be the one-woman man who loves his wife, and then raise your daughters and love them. And as they grow older and boys pursue them, you know what you do? You draw them closer. Daughters are amazing, and sons are fantastic. My boys are awesome. The Driscoll boys are great. I love them. I can't wait to get home. I coach sports. I don't hunt. I don't fish. I don't golf. I don't have a lot of independent sports. I hang out with my family. I love playing ball with my sons. And you know what, guys? You can put desire for fatherhood in your sons young. I saw this with my son Gideon. He's 4. He's a guy's guy, pees in the yard. He rocks out on the drum kit. He's awesome. He's a great little man. He's a tough little guy. And we had this baby come over, first-time mom, new little baby girl, couple months old, fat, chubby, huge legs. She's so cute. And the mom is holding her, and we told her, you could put her on the floor and Gideon will play with her. Well, you know, my wife and her visit. And you could let Gideon play with her. She's like, oh, I don't know. He's a boy, she's a girl, he's big, she's small. He'll pile drive her, kill her, you know, get her in a, I don't know, Kimura jiu-jitsu move or something and hurt her. He said, no, Gideon's a nice boy. Just watch and see. So she put the girl down, and for an hour, Gideon, who's 4, playing with her, making her laugh, had her laughing out loud, was bringing her toys, really sweet to her. They got all done. The mom picks up her baby, looks at Gideon, and says, thank you so much for being so nice to my little girl. He said, yeah, I love her, and someday I'm going to be a really good dad. My 4-year-old son's thinking about being a dad. Isn't that good? See, some of you guys didn't grow up in that home, but you want to make that home. Some of you guys say, I'm angry, I never had that. Well, make sure your children and your grandchildren do. Love your wife, love your kids, be a papa daddy. That's what my kids call me. My daughter, Alexi, she's great. She's 6 years old, blonde hair, blue eyes, cute as could be. She's always singing and dancing and super dramatic and lots of wardrobe changes. She's just fascinating is what she is. And she had to draw a picture for kindergarten of our family. She started kindergarten this year. And she drew a picture, everybody in the family, smiling, very happy, all holding hands, except for me. I was in the middle, huge, like 10 times bigger than all the rest of them, with my arms out over the whole family. I said, what's that, sweetie? She said, we're all happy because you're big and strong and you love us and protect us and keep us safe. And I started tearing up. I watch a lot of cage fighting, but my 6-year-old daughter can make me cry by drawing a picture of our family. That's a man. You could get a punch in the mouth and not cry, but if your daughter makes a picture for you, you're kind of devastated. That's a man's man. Sons are amazing as well. My son, Zach, he's my oldest, and I've got Calvin, Martin, Zachariah, Blaze, Gideon, Joseph. 3 boys. Zach, when he was born, it was the most amazing moment. My firstborn son. And I remember he was born. I was there in the delivery room, watched the whole birth, which kind of freaked me out. You see stuff you didn't want to see. And he comes out, and I'm holding him, and he's all covered in blood, and he's screaming, and whatever liquids, and, you know. And I'm holding him, and it was just amazing. I was wearing open-toed sandals and shorts and a shirt, and it was summertime. And I remember I held him up, and the first thing I wanted to do was commit him to God and pray for him. I said, God, you're a father. I'm your son. I'm a father. Here's my son. Use this son to teach me about my relationship with you. And he crapped on my foot. Just dropped one right on my foot. And God answered my prayer. Because that's the son I am to the Father. But it's great. Isn't it weird, though? We don't consider kids a blessing. I read this whole Men's Health magazine, how to get good condoms and emergency birth control and cheap abortions. Nothing about daddy dates and throwing the ball around with your sons. Sad. I don't want you to be those guys. Some of you had dads who were those guys. I'm sorry for that. But break the cycle of devastation. Be the patriarch who stands up and says, the insanity stops with me. I'm the first guy in my family who's not punched his wife, punched his kids, or been to jail. I've got 2 cousins that are my age in prison right now for beating women. This goes deep to the heart for me. And some of you guys say, I don't hit women. You just sexually abuse them, intimidate them, use them because you love sex, not marriage. You love sex, not children. It's fine to love sex, marriage, and children. They kind of go together. Loves his family. Husband and one wife, submissive children, manages his family well. Let me say this too. For you single guys, some of you should not overlook marrying single mothers. Jesus' mother was a single mother. Joseph adopted him in a country filled with HIV and widows and orphans. You should not overlook the possibility of marrying a single mother if she loves Jesus, adopting her child and taking in children that are not your biological own. Because God is a father, he's adopted us into his family. This is a gospel issue. And then thirdly, he says he manages his household well. This means dad has a schedule, dad has a budget, dad has a plan, dad knows what he's doing with his life. The dad's actively involved syncing up schedule with mom. The dad's putting together the holidays with mom, and he's putting together the vacations with mom, and he's putting together the budget with mom. He doesn't just work, come home, crack a beer, sit in his throne like a little god, turn on his TV and tell everybody to shut up. That he loves and serves his family, and he's actively involved, and he has a plan. And he's seeking input, and dad is always working on making this family more organized, more loving, more faithful, more fruitful. Loves God, loves family. Number 3, manages himself. If your mom has to look after you, you're not a man. If your girlfriend has to babysit you, you're not a man. If your wife has to tend to you, you're not a man. Some of you ladies are enablers. You want to be a mom so bad, you're babysitting your boyfriend. And it's really cute till you get pregnant and you need him to step up and stop changing his diapers so you can change the other diapers, and then he's of no help at all. So a guy needs to manage his own life. He needs to get his own act together. And it starts with, number 1, sober-minded, emotionally and mentally stable. No freaking out. No drama queen. Right, gentlemen? Some of the girlfriends in this room know exactly what I'm talking about. They're like, yeah, he totally freaks. I would like to freak once in a while, but he does it all the time, and I never get a chance. Right? Some of you guys are emotional basket cases. Happy, depressed. Right? On top of the world, under the wave. Keep your cup on, keep your hands up, keep your chin down, and keep moving forward. Freaking out never fixed anything. Number 2, he says self-controlled. This is, you're not controlled by other people, you're not controlled by the culture, you're not controlled by fear of man, you're not controlled by anything or anyone because you live self-control. You run your own life. You're a man. If you can't take responsibility for yourself, you can't take responsibility for the family, can't take responsibility for a church, can't take responsibility for a city. Self-control is one of the fruits of the Spirit. Part of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus is to live a disciplined life. Some of you guys, you're like butterflies in a breeze. You're going to go to college, you're not going to go to college. You're going to get this degree, you're not going to get this degree. You're going to work this job, you're not going to work this job. You're going to go to this church, you're not going to go to this church. You're going to date this gal, you're not date this gal. And you're just blown by circumstance, happenstance, and chance. There's no security to you. How in the world can a woman and children and a business anchor themselves to you if you don't have any stability and longevity? That's what he's talking about. And some of you guys had dads like this. Different job, different house, different woman, different career, different vocation, different identity. The guy couldn't nail it down. God blesses long obedience in the same direction. Pick your plot of land and keep harvesting it till you die. love that woman, love those children, serve that church, serve that city, work that company, pursue those investments. That's what he's talking about. Number 3, not a drunkard. Not a drunkard. Not a drunkard. You know, what that means is you guys are, and I'll tell you what, in the U.S. you can't legally drink till you're 21. Here, 18, that's one of the lowest drinking ages in the modern world. Which means a lot of you guys, alcohol is going to be a serious issue. Right? Liquid courage or liquid stupidity, depending upon whether you're a guy or a girlfriend watching the guy. Right? And a lot of the time it's, if you're a man, you can hold your liquor. No, if you're a man, you can hold your job. It's a lot easier to hold liquor than it is a job. Some of you guys can drink moderately. That's fine. It's not a sin. Jesus drank. Some of you guys should abstain. If you're drinking every day, problem. Drinking in the morning, problem. Drinking in the afternoon, problem. Drinking to celebrate, problem. Drinking to cure depression, problem. Drinking to sleep, problem. If every answer is a drink, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You guys who drink hard alcohol, start young, you're going to blow out your liver quick. You guys who are older, you're going to be wasting opportunities and days. It's not a sin to drink, but you got to be careful with the drink, man, because the cultural lie is real men drink a lot. Now, real men read the Bible a lot. Well, idiots are drunk. Real men are working their job. Real men aren't calling hungover, can't make it in today, or I'll be late because I was up all night being an idiot. See, if everybody else is getting drunk, you guys have got an opportunity to slingshot to the front of the line. Well, everybody else is drunk and hungover and stupid. You have a shot to actually finish your degree, start your career, get out ahead of the game, make a little momentum while you're young. There's a guy in my church, I'll give you an example like this. Once you beat the men for a few years and you build a whole culture and you get thousands of them, it's really cool what happens. We've seen over 1,000 people get married. We've seen over 1,000 babies born. Fantastic. I was talking to a guy recently, he's 19. He graduated early at 17, moved out of his parents' house, got a good job. He's actually now a deacon at 19 in our church, an official leader. He's a guy who got his own apartment. He doesn't have a wife yet. But he drives a simple car, not a new car. He doesn't have a lot of hobbies. He saves his money. He saved enough money that when God gives him a fiance, he'll have money for a ring. And he started a college fund for his own kids at 19. I asked him, what'd you do that for? He said, I trust that God will give me a wife and that someday God will give me children. And today, rather than spending money on big TVs and new cars and alcohol, I'm putting money in a bank account, trusting that God will give me a son or a daughter and I can send them to college. Fools think about the weekend. Wisdom thinks about generations. See, the culture lies to you, gentlemen. The ladies in this room, you know what they don't get together when we're not present and talk about? Oh, I hope I find a man with big subwoofers. That's not what they're talking about. Right, ladies? You don't walk into his apartment with the black leather sofa and the huge TV and look at the subwoofers and say, it's him. It's him. You know what a woman wants to hear? I have a Bible and a job. That's sexy. Works every time. That's what he's talking about. So he goes on as well, not a lover of money. Because you know what? You love money and use people, or you love people and use money. And you men should want to make money and generously give it. Give it to God, give it to your wife, give it to your kids, give it to your grandkids, give it to your great-grandkids, give it to the widows, give it to the poor, give it to the HIV orphans. Be generous, because our God is a giver, not a taker. For God so loved the world that he what? He gave. See, some of you guys say, I don't have any money, that's why I don't give. The Bible says if you can be trusted with a little, you can be trusted with much, and the context is money. God puts a few bucks in your hands, and if you blow it on porn and stupidity, he's not going to replenish it so you can get more porn and stupidity. He's going to put money in your hands, see if you're a good steward or an idiot. If you're an idiot, why would he give you more money? If you're a good steward, then he can trust you with more. And this isn't prosperity theology, it's generosity theology. It's not about getting rich, it's about being generous, because our God is a giver. And see, guys don't get that. And here's the deal, guys, the fools don't get this. I hope and I trust and I pray you wouldn't be the fools. Because marketing and advertising says, take that money, buy these products, get this junk, and then you'll be a real man. There's not one thing in here or in the culture that says, real men give, don't take. You're only going to hear that in the Bible, and you're only going to see that in God. And if you think buying more junk is going to make you happy, ask yourself, did it work last time? For those of you guys that have got credit card bills for stuff you don't even remember buying, last time you weren't generous, but you were greedy and a lover of money and a bad steward, did it work? If it didn't work last time, why do you think it'll work this time? Because wisdom is required, not luck. Lastly, under the manages himself, respectable. That's worthy of imitating or following. This is a guy that the other guys look at and they're like, that guy, I want to be like that guy. His wife smiles. His kids aren't midget demons. He's kept a job. He knows his Bible. He helps people. He's generous. He loves God. I want to be like that guy. You want to be like that guy. And you know what you guys got to find? Stop hanging out with all your foolish friends and find that guy. Find that guy. In college, I found that guy. New Christian. I found a guy had 12 daughters, 1 son. Has 13 kids. Okay? And I thought, this guy obviously knows something about marriage and family. I told him, I said, buddy, hey, here's the deal. You obviously can't afford date night because like babysitting's like $1 million. So, how about if I come to your house for dinner and I babysit your kids? They didn't have 13 at the time, they do now. And then I'll watch you read the Bible with your kids, pray with your kids, interact with your family, and I'm going to be taking mental notes and learn because I've never seen a mature Christian family. And then, someday when I get married, I want to do what you're doing because your wife's happy, your kids are awesome, all of them love God, none of them rebelled, all of them are serving Jesus. This is a super fun family. All the kids are musicians and rock out and play sports, and they're not the weird kids wearing dresses made from the drapes like the Von Trapp family. These are actually really cool people. You got to find those people, and you got to get to know them, and you got to learn from them. And if you can't find them, and some of you are frustrated because your parents weren't those people, then here's what you do. You make a covenant with God today. If I can't find that guy, no matter what, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that someday the other guys look at and say, can I talk to you? You seem to have learned some things, and I would like to have a life that looks like yours. Because there's plenty of guys to drink with, go to rugby with, and rape women with. There's not enough guys to look to and learn from. And I so desperately, deeply, earnestly want you to be those guys. I want you to be those guys. I want you to wake up with a clear conscience, look in the mirror and say, by the grace of God, I'm encouraged where I'm at. I'm thankful for where I've come, and I'm hopeful for where I'm going. Number 4, he serves his city. Hospitable, it says. This is where you get a home and you have people in it, and you do Bible studies, and you build friendships, and you invite in strangers. And here's what's going to blow Joburg's mind. When cities and townships and rich and poor and young and old and male and female and black and white are going into one another's homes. And the neighbors are going to ask, what the heck is going on here? Hey, Jesus is alive. And he reconciles people. And our distinctions are not divisions. And the hope for our country is not just racial reconciliation, but racial reconciliation around Jesus, who allows sinners to repent and those who have been sinned against to forgive, so that there can be new life together. And that's only possible in the church. I'll tell you, what Africa wants can only happen through the gospel of Jesus Christ, and as the church practices hospitality and repents of generations of sin. Hospitality could change this country. Hospitality could change this country. Not violent. Some of you guys, you're the worst guys. You're the guys that man. I want PJ to hold him while I punch him, and then we swap. These guys. Some of you guys, it's all about fear, control, threats, intimidation. You're scary guys. You're bullies and thugs and jerks, and you think, that's what it means to be a man. Oh, what a man. You push women around? Ladies, let me tell you this. If you're scared of him, run for your life. If he's ever accosted you, run for your life. If he's ever restrained you, run for your life. If he's ever raised a hand and threatened you, run for your life. If he's ever hit you, run for your life. If he's ever forced himself on you sexually, run for your life. If he's ever degraded you and made you feel like you have to put up with it because he's in charge and control, run for your life. Because right now, dating, he's on his best behavior. You will be beaten. You will be raped. You will be a victim. You will not change him. He will break you. I pastor a few thousand rape victims, women who have been broken. And they always think, he's got a good heart, and if I just hang in there, I will change him. Jesus changes him. You're no savior. Don't be a victim. Run for your life. Some of you guys that are violent and angry, it started with your dad. He had a short fuse. You got a short fuse. Maybe the alcohol makes it worse. Hanging out with the wrong guys makes it worse. You're aggressive. You're violent. You're bullies. You're mean. You're angry. You're not men. You're freaking animals. See, men have control. Men are strong for their family, not against it. Strong for their wife, not against it. They become strong and respond when there's injustice, tyranny, and evil. God's men only get hostile when bullies need to be put down. Other than that, they're really sweet. Some of you guys are dangerous. Some of you guys are violent. Some of you guys are angry. And I'll tell you what, it is not excusable. It needs to be repented of. And you can go to hell for that. And God will torment you forever. You have no idea who you're dealing with. God is a father, and if you treat his daughter that way, don't think he'll let you off the hook. Gentle, kind, gracious, loving, merciful. You know what? Lots of ladies want to get married and have kids, but they're not convinced that they can ever trust a man to be gentle. They've seen abuse and abandonment and betrayal. You know what a woman wants to see? A gentle man. A man who is tender with her, tender with the children, compassionate toward the hurting and the needy. Long-suffering, patient, and kind, like the God that we worship. I love snuggling with my daughters. Love it. Love it. Love it. I want them to feel that I'm the safest person on the earth. That I'm gentle. And you know what? Guys, I'll tell you this, man. I've been in lots of street fights. I've preached in a bulletproof vest. I've had guys try to kill me while I'm preaching, get on the front row and try to jump on the stage with machetes. I was in Haiti and saw a kid get his head blown off right after everything went down with the earthquake. I've been in street fights. I've been shot at. I've had knives pulled on me. I put a list of guys in the hospital. I've knocked out guys twice my size. And I'm gentle. And I love my wife, and I love kids, and I love women, and I love children, and I love victims, and I love rape victims, and I love molestation victims. And I only get fired up when I see people getting hurt and somebody needs to get in the middle. That's a man's man. He's not always angry. He's usually gentle. And he only gets righteously angry to defend the weak and the oppressed and the women and the children. That's it. Other than that, he is happy and he's gentle and he's loving and he's kind. And you guys who just walk around chest out, bowed up, freaking joke. Freaking joke. I'll call you out right now. Freaking joke. Come down and have a chat with me. You think you're such a man. Yelling at your girlfriend, forcing things on her sexually, intimidating people, being the thug and the bully. What a joke. What a freaking joke. Gentle. If you could master that, we would respect you. Not quarrelsome, because now some of you guys want to argue. Oh, but you don't understand. Yeah, I do. Shut up. Don't quarrel. Not quarrelsome. Because you know what? Sometimes guys, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're talking about, and every time someone disagrees with them, they assume that person's wrong. The best thing is to assume, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got something to learn. Maybe somebody needs to teach me something. I'm listening. Not quarrelsome. And then well thought of by outsiders. Here's what I want for you. I want the city of Joburg to get to the point where the God-first men are legendary. Not to boast, but to give you some hope. We had a situation in our city where there were a series of hotels that there was prostitution going on, and there was, I need to say this carefully so don't get sued because everybody wants to sue me, but there were reports of underage prostitution, teenage girls being held as sexual slaves, moved from hotel to hotel to be raped by dirty old men. And they couldn't shut it down legally, so they needed community pressure. So we started getting calls from politicians saying, could you send the Mars Hill guys to all these community forums and stand up and demand that we shut these things down? And if that doesn't work, can you guys like picket, protest, just shut them down? Oh yeah, we'd love to. Totally. Yeah, we got thousands of guys, love to. We'll flood the meetings, whatever you want. Women are getting raped, game on. We're ready to go. It's nice when the city knows if we call these guys, they'll get stuff done that's really good. Really good. I dealt with a father not long ago. His daughter became a Christian at our church. Now she's dating a young man in our church, and they're getting pretty serious. And early on in the relationship, what the boy did, he did what we trained him to do. He went to the dad. He said, I really like your daughter, and I would like to spend some time with her, and she's young, and she lives with you, and you're her father, and I want to honor you. And so I'm a Christian. I don't believe in sex before marriage. I don't believe in getting drunk. I don't do drugs. I have a job. I love Jesus. I'm in a Bible study. There's leadership over me. You can call for character references. I'm asking your permission to spend time with her. I want to know what the rules are. When do you need her home and what's acceptable and unacceptable? And I promise to take good care of her and keep her safe. And I promise to walk her to the door. And if you have any follow-up questions for me, you can ask them at that time. This non-Christian dad, after he woke up, he asked, where did you learn this? He said, well, this is how we treat women at my church. Dad's an atheist. Dad has other daughters. He said, I hope all my daughters start dating guys that go to Mars Hill. Good reputation with outsiders. Because see, you guys start messing around with girls, all of a sudden the reputation is all those God-first guys are hypocrites. They say they love Jesus and then they molest women. They say they love Jesus and then they get drunk. They say they love Jesus and they don't show up to work. They say they love Jesus and they rip off their company. They say they love Jesus and they bill for hours they didn't work. And a few of you guys could ruin your reputation for all of you guys. So you guys who know your buddies are the users and the losers, enforce a little pressure. Now here's the deal. As you hear this, some of you guys are feeling like, 17 things? I'm a male. Other than that, I have 16 things to work on. Right? So what do? Here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to guilt you and make you religious by saying, okay guys, here's 17 things. Do this for God! Not going to do that. I'm going to tell you that, I apologize, I didn't mean to make the baby cry. I did not know there was one here. Oh no! That is not what I want to do. I did not know there was a baby here. Man, I'm sorry. That just ruined everything for me. Now I feel terrible. And I miss my kids. Instead, let me tell you that this life is the life, not that you live for God, but that God lived for you. God becomes a man, Jesus Christ. He's the perfect, sinless God-man. Did Jesus live his life out of total love to God the Father? Yeah. Did he love his family? Yeah, he loved his mom to the end, loved his dad, loved his brothers, loved his sisters, still loves the church family. Did Jesus manage his own life? Yeah, his mom didn't need to look after him. He didn't need a girlfriend to tend to him. He wasn't freeloading off his friends. He took care of his own responsibilities. Does he love your city? Yeah, he did. He loved his city of Jerusalem. He loves your city of Joburg. He loves my city of Seattle. He's making the New Jerusalem a big, fat, perfect city for us all to enjoy. And Jesus lived without sin. He lived the life that none of us men will live. Guys, I'll tell you this too. Even as I read this, yeah, I'm convicted of sin in my own life. I got stuff to work on. And so what do? We realize that Jesus died in our place for our sins to release us from generations of foolishness. I don't know about you guys. I come from a long line of foolish, violent, drunken, poor, gambling, dangerous, unrepentant men. I have uncles that have died of gangrene because they wouldn't stop drinking and they kept cutting off body parts until it got to the vital organs. Jesus died for my sin to set me free from what Peter calls a hollow and empty way of life handed to us by our fathers. And then Jesus not only takes away our sin, he gives us the Holy Spirit, gentlemen and ladies too, so that we can live a life like Jesus by the power of Jesus. So this is what God does for us, and then it's what God does in us, and then it is what God does through us in relationship to us. So God isn't standing back saying, do this. God says, I've done it, and I forgive you, and I want to change you, and I want to help you, and I want your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids to say, there was a day when a man with my last name decided that things would change by the grace of God. I want you to be that man. I want this to be that day.